I think we're live, guys. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
It's been a little while. We're back, and we've got like a VIP guest down there. It's Lesley Roy, who's Ireland's representative for 2020. Because we're not forgetting the singers and we're not forgetting the songs. We're very sad, Lesley, that we're not going to get to see you on stage in Rotterdam, as I'm sure you were. Great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, all the way from New York.
Yes, coming in from New York. That's why I've got some more daylight light coming in the window than you guys right now. But still Irish, homegrown.
So do you live in New York now?
Yeah, I've been in New York. I've been actually all over the States for the past 12 years. When I moved over with my first album, Unbeautiful, I moved to New York, and then I just toured all over the country. Then went to Nashville and LA to write for other artists, but finally came back to New York. But I have to be honest, we were looking at some apartments in Dublin just before everything all kind of kicked off there a few weeks ago.
Oh, well, Dublin's beautiful. I love that place.
It's great. It really is.
We have to quickly just say hello to some people in the live chat that have joined us already. So we've got Sarah O'Halloran, who wants to know all about you, Lesley. So we'll find out as much as we can. We've got Jamie Brennan. We've got Oran Horgan. Hey, Oran. She's very excited. He's very excited to see you. Sorry. We've also got we've got Jess. Hey, Jess. How you doing? We've got ESC Rosmich in Croatia. We've got Juan in the Netherlands. We've got Shady Shay. So Shady Shay is another YouTuber, Lesley. You've got like 200,000. You need to get on his channel. You've got like 200,000 subscribers. We've got Paolo in the house, Peter M. We've got Ariana in Canada. We've got Olympic in Croatia. John Cahill in Ireland. Hey, John. Latvian from Latvia. We've got Qatar from Malta. We've got Elliot Harris in house as well. Guys, thank you for joining. Guys, this is your night, so you can ask Lesley whatever you want to ask her within reason. Make it clean and answer your questions tonight. But Lesley, we have got a first one.
Okay.
And you must have been expecting this. Jamie Brennan wants to know, are you coming back next year?
Well, so my honest answer is I don't know just yet. I would love to. Yeah, fingers crossed. I've already started the wheels and some conversations with my producers about how we would even attempt a new song. And I got some ideas, honestly, too, from talking to the fans while being home for those few months. So the real answer is I'd love to. We just don't know right now because we don't feel it's an appropriate time to even look at that next year.
Yeah, so a lot of countries are saying that actually they're not going to think about plans for next. You must feel a sense from the fans, especially the fans of your song. They want you to still have that shot. I mean, there's like petitions happening around Europe. It's crazy.
I know it's so nice, and like I want to take like definitely platforms like this to say thanks for everybody. You know, that they did get behind the song and they got behind the idea that I'm just trying to, you know, take Ireland in maybe a few different directions within the Eurovision. And the fact that so many people were like, look, just write another one, come back next year. Like, I will do my very best to make that possible. But they've been so good.
Yeah, I mean, your song had a lot of fans. Me and Clara have been singing it before you joined us tonight because it's like an earworm song.
Yes, definitely. And when the song came out, it's just right my alley of music, of my music taste. And this is the kind of music I grew up listening to, and it brought me back to like my punk pop skater kind of vibe. And I also heard your album on Pretty or on Beautiful, sorry.
Yeah.
And I love it. It just brings me back. And I want to know, what influences do you have, musical influences?
Well, God, I mean, like a lot of artists say, it's so many different people. But I mean, I grew up, my ma was in cover bands, so I got a very early sense of listening to a lot of pop covers. So there was a lot of Fleetwood Mac on, there was a lot of Blondie, a lot of straight down the middle pop stuff that I heard my ma singing all around Ireland. And then I kind of got into a little bit of Motown. And when I started playing guitar and stuff, I started actually listening to a lot of country, and I kind of switched into a little of the American Nashville storytelling side of stuff. But once I got signed with Jive, I really started to hone in on that more pop rock sound. that I wrote with Max Martin and Katy Perry and Dr. Luke. We all worked on my album. So we went for a very pop rock thing, which is what Story of My Life is as well. But I think to come back next year, I think I would do something actually very different.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. I mean, we were really excited to see, because it's such a feel-good, fun song. It's obviously got a really important message as well. I mean, tell us more about the message of the song for you.
Yeah,
lots of people
100%.
can see it in different ways.
Yeah, and like, it is obviously the story of my life. Yeah, 100%. But it is why it was so important for me to have this for the Eurovision, is that I want to give people, or could have given people, a platform to stand up and kind of speak out about who they are and who they know themselves to be, honestly, deep down, and not be so, we can be so boxed in this world, in this life. And Story of My Life is really about standing up and just being authentic.
And it also feels really personal to you as an artist, because you have to be blonde enough, you say in the song, you have to make it, you can rock it, but you have to make it pop enough so it's commercial enough so it can like top the charts and things like that.
Completely, yeah. And I've talked about this as much as I could on only the few amount of interviews, is that as personal as it is about me, kind of had a lot of ups and downs within the music industry. It kind of stands for everybody has difficulties. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher. I mean, where we are right now in the world, we are going to have to get to a period where we dust ourselves back off and try and start again. And the song is literally about that.
Yeah, well, like I said, we were sad that we didn't get to see you on stage this year, but we're pretty hopeful that you are going to be back, and we look forward to seeing what plans you're coming up with. Kassar, who is from Malta, Ireland, you were in his top 5 this year.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You would have got some virtual televotes. That's what you're getting tonight. Peter M. Would like to know about some of the staging ideas you had for this year. Are you allowed to tell us what's going to happen? That's a really good question.
As the true fans know, it was the first time that RTE was doing an outside company. We were using This Is Pop Baby, who are an absolutely massive staging, creative directing team in Dublin. So we were using Philly McMahon and Philip for choreography, and that's about as far as I can't break their seal of what they were going to do, because I would also love for us to come back next year and potentially we can still use some of those ideas. But it was, like the song, different for Ireland and very big, and it just would feel so good.
Oh, well, keep those ideas for next year. I was always saying I really wanted to see you having fun on the stage and lots of like bright colours, and I think it would have looked amazing.
There was definitely a lot of lights, for sure.
Oh God. I have to ask you as well, because you were literally talking my language a few minutes ago when you're saying about Fleetwood Mac and Motown. I love Fleetwood Mac. What is your all-time favourite Fleetwood Mac song?
I mean, Rumors is great, but I guess I lead more into like Stevie's writing. With Landslide is one of the greatest songs in my mind ever written. Even pop songs, even though they say it's a folk song, it's definitely one of the best Fleetwood Stevie songs that I think. What about you? What's your favorite one?
I don't know if you like mine. Mine was Big Love.
Oh, that's a great one.
Oh, I love it.
It depends on what time period, like what album you're picking from. There's just so much there.
I really like I don't know the title, but like Thunder Only Happens When It's Raining.
Yes. Oh my God.
Dreams.
Dreams.
Yes.
Absolute
so
classic.
So good.
Because we have lots of younger viewers. So, guys, if you don't know Fleetwood Mac, you have to go and check out some of their stuff. They're amazing. We've got Gareth Bowen in the house. Hey, Gareth. Jess wants to know, I wonder if you've been asked this yet. What's your favourite Eurovision song of all time?
Good question, Jess. Well, it does change, and especially over the past few months, it was seemingly changing every week. Right now, I'm on a big Heroes kick. I've been learning that. So you might see that in the next few weeks in some acoustic performances.
Ooh, okay. Elliot wants to know, what was the process behind Story of My Life? Was it an idea message you wanted to bring from the start? Good question.
Yeah. Great, Elliot. What was the process behind it? Well, we started off with the title. So I wrote this with a few of my co-writers in Nashville. Kat, Tom, and Robert Marvin produced it, and we actually started with the title. Sometimes I just start with a melody, but this was purely driven from Kat was like, what if we write a song called Story of My Life? I'm like, okay, great. And all three of them had pictured it as a ballad and something a little bit more, not moany or whiny, but a bit more leaning into the ups and downs of things. But I only ever heard it as a big up tempo. Like, what if we talk about the ups and downs when we've come out of it, and it's a celebration after the fact instead of just focusing right in on like maybe the downside of things. So we started with the title. We got the chorus fair kind of early on. The verses took a little bit longer, and they had all thought we'd finish the song. This is like exclusive for you guys. We'd all thought we'd finish the song, and there was no na 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 na's or hey hey in the chorus at all. So it was just the story of my life, it's mine, I made it on my own, that's right. And then it kind of cut to the end. And it was driving me crazy. I thought we need one more hook in the middle of it, but it doesn't need to be any more lyrics. So I tweaked the na 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 parts actually for a few weeks before that was finished. So the song took a while to finish.
When you got the na na na, was it like a eureka moment? Like, this is it now?
Completely. And like they thought I was crazy because they were like, you're focusing so much just on a na 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 part. And I thought, but this is such the earworm extra hook within a hook, like that Swedish kind of writing style that will just elevate it from a great chorus to an even better chorus. We
couldn't get it out of our heads. It wasn't it was starting to become a bit annoying, Lesley, I'll be honest. I couldn't stop singing it.
Sorry.
No, we loved it. It was people say there was a lot of ballads this year, so yours stood out for just being fun, and there wasn't a lot of fun songs. Everyone was being really serious, and you did pick up a lot of fans. Can I ask you about some of the reactions that you got from the fans when you released the song initially?
Yeah, it was funny because there was like a bit of a build up. My name came out before we announced anything, so there were some people who was like, oh great, like they had remembered me in Ireland from the album years ago. And then there were some other people who were like, oh no, not a pop rock song, like we don't want that at all. So obviously, like anything, there's mixed emotions about everything. But once the song came out, there was a fairly general, like 99% of like, oh well, that's really hooky for Ireland, so, and that makes us feel so good. So there was a great response.
Yeah, indeed, because once you hear it for the first time, the na 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 really hooks you up, and it doesn't matter if you don't really remember the rest of the lyrics, because you go to another person that's like, have you heard Island? Yeah, the na 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 song, and I was like, yeah, that one.
Totally. It does it grabs you fairly quick too with the synth at the start. But yeah, there is a nostalgic feel on it, and that was all like premeditated. I wanted it to kind of have a reminiscence even off of my album, off of that pop rock time period. But again, I wouldn't do anything that sounded like that again.
But it was, like I said, I can't get it out of my head. I still listen to it now. I know even members of our team as well. I know Jess loves the song, and she'll probably ask a question later. So you did have a lot of fans. Amy Brennan wants to ask. Actually, no, I'm going to go to Latvian first. I don't know if this is going to put you on the spot or not.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, Konstatu, Lesley Sanamdom, Tomek Mygraf Magat. I know the few pieces. I know a little bit, even though in Ireland you study all the way through school. I should know more, but I was never great at Gaelic. I know the few bits that gets me through like St. Patrick's Day anywhere in the world.
We were at Junior Eurovision this year. No, last year, wasn't it? 2019.
November 2019.
And Ireland's Junior Eurovision act was teaching Clara some Irish. So I'm going to see if Clara remember what you were taught.
No. I just know Banshee.
Banshee, okay. So
I can just remember Banshee and Faite.
Can you say Conasatatu?
Conasatatu.
There you go.
But like, I went to an Irish school for 1 month. I was 15 in exchange as an exchange student in Dublin, so I knew that one.
No, it's good. I mean, it's a beautiful language. I should know a little bit more, but I'm terrible with languages.
Sarah O'Halloran, Lesley, just wants to draw your attention because she's done a remix, and she was telling us how much remixers help her with her autism. And she's done a remix of your song. She's combined it with Venga Boys' Boom Boom Boom.
Love the Venga Boys. I mean, amazing. That's awesome, Sarah. Good job.
So you have to check that out after this. Juan, who's in the Netherlands, wants to know, how did you find out you were representing Ireland at Eurovision, and how did you react? And we want the real reaction, Lesley.
Okay, I'll give you that. I have no lies here.
I'll give you faces.
I am upfront about everything. Well, I'd sent Story of My Life into the open call, I guess it was November, December. And I didn't hear anything, and I didn't put too much even in the email about my, who I worked with. I just wanted the song to kind of stand for itself and have a fair contest against the 400 songs that was also sent in. So anyway, RTE called me, I think, just right before the holidays. And they said, listen, Lesley, this is on all the short lists. Can you send a couple of acoustic videos and whatnot? And I thought, amazing, but I can do you one better. I'm going to Dublin for Christmas to see my family. I can pop in and see you guys. So I went in for a meeting. I talked through like my visions of what it could be. We briefly talked about This Is Pop Baby getting involved. And that was it. I didn't hear anything for a few weeks until after the holidays. And then, so I was walking into yoga here in New York. I'd come back, Christmas was over. I was going to my yoga class, and RTE calls and they said, Lesley, look, we can't top this song. The song is so good. Will you represent Ireland this year? And I was like, yes, of course. No, okay, bye. And then I went to yoga, so I had to do 90 minutes in a hot room, like being all excited about the Eurovision, like. And I don't know why I still went. I should have just gone and celebrated, but I still went to yoga, and I was just like a crazy person in my yoga class. So I was excited, but in yoga. So
did they know before you started your class that you'd just been selected?
No, I didn't. I didn't tell anyone in New York. I mean, I should have. I just kind of lost my mind, I think. I don't know what happened. I was so excited. I've been a fan of Eurovision since I was a kid, even outside of being in the music industry. So I was chuffed. I'd say I looked crazy in that class.
Who was the first person that you told then after your class?
I told my wife, Lauren.
Oh, and what does she do?
She's a therapist.
No, I mean, what did she do? Like, what was her reaction?
She did therapy on me. No, she was so
probably
excited.
Needed it.
She was so excited because she's had to deal with, 12 years of like Eurovision parties now, because she's American, so she didn't grow up with like how we grew up with it. So she only has like this kind of newfound love for the Eurovision, but she knew like how much I wanted this song to represent Ireland. So she was so excited. She was just like, okay, let's get the plans going.
Oh, is she a fan now of Eurovision?
Oh yeah, she has been. Like, she has to have these parties with me every year. So we thought, you know what? This is better for her this year. She won't have to make all the cheese plates from every single country. But maybe, I don't know. We'll see next year.
Javier is in the live from Montreal. Wants you to go and do a gig. She's not that far, I don't think. Is Montreal that far from New York?
No, it's okay. I mean, I'll go and do whatever gigs as soon as we can get all of this cleared up.
We've got Bora. I don't know where you're from, Bora, but you're saying it was the best Irish entry in years.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
We have to shout out to Aoife D. She joins us in our lives, and she was like, you missed the beginning, but you can go back and watch it, Aoife, so you can see what happened at the start. We've also got Sarah O'Halloran. Okay, Lesley, what's your advice for someone who has an unhealthy obsession?
With what?
Oh, anything.
No, an unhealthy obsession with, I guess it would be figure out why you have the obsession before you can start working on, like, what are you thinking about before you have the chocolate or whatever the obsession is. I guess it's figuring out why you're obsessing over something. I don't know.
What is it covering? What other need you are suppressing with this?
Exactly. There, Clara's got it.
There we go. Paolo wants to know, did you hear any of the other songs this year?
Yeah, I was, obviously fangirling still as a Eurovision fan, but also as a competitor. Every time a song came out, I would listen to it. There was such great songs. I mean, the obvious few that kind of crossed over every country, Iceland and Russia, and there's the Spanish one even has gotten a lot of press later on. Like, it's been very interesting to watch the progression of some songs.
Oh, this one's a good one. What was the most memorable moment in your life, apart from yoga, just finding out that you've been selected to represent Ireland?
Those were good ones this year, I have to say. Most memorable moment. Yeah, I mean, so we'd done a show before, like the day the song got released, just to keep it within the Eurovision and the song and everything. When we played I played the song in the George in Dublin, and it was absolutely packed. Like, there was a line around the block to get into the place, and people were singing the song even though the song had only come out a few hours beforehand. So I think that was a huge moment, at least this year anyway, for me.
Wow. Okay. Sarah also wants to know, what music did you listen to when you were growing up? So maybe when you were a kid, like, what was your favorite?
Yeah, I guess coming out of the Fleetwood Mac and whatnot, the early Motown stuff. I mean, I think I got into like a lot of Dixie Chicks, Sheryl Crow, and I started obsessing a lot about the producers actually behind artists. So like, I'm a big studio head, so I got into a lot of Mutt Lange. He was producing a lot of like Shania Twain stuff, and Max Martin, which is all the Britney, all the NSYNC, all of the Backstreet stuff. So I started getting into like who was doing the writing and production quite early on in my teens, and started kind of obsessing over that, even versus like the artists. But a lot of singer-songwriter stuff, but a lot of straight down the middle pop.
Wow, okay. Oran's got a question for you.
Okay.
Did any of the previous Irish entrants give you any advice about Eurovision?
I think not so much advice, more so as just enjoy it, because it's just going to be quite a wild ride. I don't think they expected it to take the turn that it did.
No, well, none of us were expecting that.
A few of them did reach out in the past few weeks, like especially because we did some press at home in Dublin once the news hit that it was cancelled, and they were just like, I mean, they never experienced anything like this, so they were just like, look, the song was great. Hopefully you come back next year, and like, especially like all the other artists, like, chin up. There's nothing you can do in times like this,
Yeah. Did you get to have any contact with any of the other artists from this year at all?
From this year, well, just online. I've actually been messaging some of them, and we've been doing some like fun online chats. Because we all would have obviously connected throughout the pre-parties and the show. So I wanted to kind of keep that going, if not for us, but just because the fans it's so sad for the fans that don't get to go to everything,
Yeah, I mean, Clara.
Do you think at some point in the summer or after the summer there will be a Eurovision get-together with you and all of the artists?
I don't know, but that's a great idea, Clara. You should organize that.
Andy, you're the boss.
Oh, me now. You see, it always comes on to me.
I can help you, but it will be super fun. We can put a call out there for the Eurovision clubs and other Eurovision venues to host a party like this.
Wow, yeah. We've got Chris. I was going to say, we've got Christopher who's joining us. He seems to love you and your song so much. I want to know if you already know something about next year's plans. And what was your inspiration when you wrote the song?
Yeah. So yeah, the story of my life. I wanted to write about me getting myself back on my feet, and I also wanted it to connect for other people who have to get themselves back on their feet. So that was the lyric inspiration, and then sonically, like I said, I wanted it to keep it fairly close to what I've done before, which is that pop rock, pink, Kelly Clarkson, like a flavor of Teenage Dream. Like I wanted it to have a nostalgic feel like that. So that was the track and the music inspiration. And then what was his other question for next year? Was it? Sorry.
Yeah. So I think you kind of already answered that earlier, didn't you, about plans for next year? I love that you mentioned Kelly Clarkson, because it does give me a nostalgic feel. And I can't remember what the song is called, but there's a song that she did. It was quite a big song, and it does take me back to. I mean, was that?
My life would work without you.
Was that like 10 years ago or something?
Yeah.
So obviously, I was only about 12. It takes me takes you back to a really happy time in my life, and it was Patrick Deneen, who I'm assuming is in Ireland, wants to know if you've ever been to Kerry.
Yeah, I love Kerry. Totally not random. Gorgeous spot. I was just talking about it the other day. I love Kerry.
Where is Kerry in Ireland? I don't know.
It's down. So down south, like right down at the tip.
I've got so much of Ireland that I need to see because I've never really made it out of Dublin.
Okay.
But Dublin's an amazing city, isn't it? Anyway,
It is.
so
Yeah.
Paolo wants to know if you had a chance to do a collab with a previous Eurovision winner, who would you do it with?
Whew. Great question. Previous Eurovision winner collab. To sing with or to write with, I wonder.
Oh, do both.
Do both. Okay, I think to write with, I'd love to write with Lorraine.
That would be super interesting.
And then to collab with vocally a duo, let me think. I mean, come on, I gotta do Johnny Logan.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
great answer.
I mean, at the very least, at least we give ourselves a shot at winning.
Well, he's a legend, isn't he?
He is the king of Eurovision.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if all his income just comes from Eurovision now, because he's always like dragged into every Eurovision event.
I'm sure, and then, like, not a bad gig, you know. Every year around February, you kick into Eurovision mode. You're finished by May. I mean, it's a nice job.
Somewhat, I can't. Oh, here it is. Oran wants to know. Can we expect any new music from you? And are you going to be releasing an album? So what's the plan now? You've got a little bit more free time because of Eurovision.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, as a songwriter, I have like a mad back catalog of songs that, you know, other artists didn't record yet, or film and TV didn't use, or that I wasn't ready to even release myself. So I have some songs that I feel are ready to come out. It would just be a matter of, I think, over the next few months, like picking what would be a good one coming off of Story of My Life, since Story of My Life has such now an attachment to the Eurovision and a very specific sound, that a lot of the songs I have are a little bit more modern. They don't have just full straight on, you know, that Kelly Clarkson vibe. So I think, yes, I don't have a plan for a full album, but I would like to say that hopefully in the summer, or if not in the next few weeks, that I'd like to put out another single.
Oh, even a matter of a few weeks.
Oh, I've got one that I'm thinking of in particular. I'm not going to play anything right now, but I'm thinking of, like, maybe just at least giving people something, because I feel so bad that the show is not going ahead.
Yeah. But at least you gave us the Story of My Life, and now it's part of the Eurovision catalog, regardless if it was performed or not. It's our song. It's part of our tradition.
Good. That makes me so happy. Good.
Yeah. Well, I've just got a question, because we've been telling everyone to keep streaming the songs from this year. What can people do to support you? Is that what you want people to do, keep streaming the songs, or?
Yeah, that would be fantastic. And I mean, again, to maybe like continue how well, like, you guys and other, like, online companies have been asking fans to get more and more involved. If they want to do their own video singing Story of My Life at home and send it, I would love to get, like, a whole combination of people singing the song together.
Wow, that sounds exciting. It's a good project. I don't know if you'd want to hear us sing it.
No, please, I do.
Andy, you know what you're doing after we finish this interview.
I'll give you a preview afterwards, and you can let me know if you want me. I would literally butcher any song I put my voice to, but that sounds like a great way to celebrate the song. Exactly,
because it's fantastic that you're telling people to stream the song, but this song it's so for the people that I'd love, especially now we've got some time, if everyone's keeping healthy at home, to shoot a little video in our apartments or in our house or in our back garden, singing the song and having some fun and, like, kind of keeping everyone together.
I love that. So if people want to film a video, where can they send it to? On Instagram, or? Yeah,
they can Instagram it to me. Yeah, DM it to me. I will eventually get to it. And I think that would be, like, a fun project for all of us to do.
Love it. Love it. So, guys, if you're watching, make sure you send Lesley a video of you singing Story of My Life. And we look forward to seeing the end result. You could get a great compilation video.
I think that's the goal. That's the goal, yeah.
Yes. Philosaurus, always love that username, Philosaurus, wants to know, apart from your own song, what one song, oh, this is tough. What one song would you have said would have won this year?
Whew. Yeah, I guess I can say that now. I mean, I loved Iceland's one, and I loved the Roops one. I thought that was great. Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was really good. What did you guys think? Honestly, was going to win?
Oh, I don't know if I could call a winner. I think it's really tough to call a winner. I can tell you like which ones were probably some of my favourites, but
right. But
I don't know if I could call
it. It's hard
with
Eurovision. Like sometimes your honest favourites don't necessarily lead into the political winners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always such a tough choice, I think.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that the depth of songs this year was really good as well. There's so many songs that I liked. I always get it wrong anyway. What do I know?
What did you think, Clara?
I would have thought that Italy would have placed really well.
Yes.
And the Roop too, because it was super. All of the hooks were really, really catchy.
Yeah.
Those were my two main stands. I think Russia would have done really well because that's really sticky, like really earworm, and they have all of the movements. And but I also like Iceland. It took me a while to get behind it, but like the bass line is so good. I love that bass line. It's my favorite part of the whole thing.
It's really good. I thought that was interesting. Of a few standout songs, both had that in common, which was a very simple linear bass line kind of driving the track.
But it's super popular now. Like Dua Lipa has also done like this song where like the bass is so linear, but it's so good.
Completely.
I mean, Iceland became a bit of a viral song this year, I think. So
it really
I think
did.
it would have done well, but it would have been a tough call, I think, to choose a winner. Can I ask, did you go into it with a particular ambition? What was your mindset? Were you thinking, I want to qualify, I want to be top 10? Did you set yourself those sort of goals, or did you just think, I want to have a great time?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the first goal was to, I think, switch a little bit of the mindset in Ireland of some people who have slightly fallen off of the Eurovision train, right? So I think the first at-home, goal was to get everybody or as more people involved than has been over the past few years, which we did that. We accomplished that, and all of the press, like 90% of the press, thought that we were in the right direction. So that was the first goal, was for Ireland to love it. And then the second goal would have been obviously to get through the semis, which was we were in the hardest semi, but to get into the final on the night and just have a blast. And I really do think it was just to change Ireland's trajectory in the Eurovision.
If you'd won Eurovision, what would your like winning face be?
I don't know. I don't want to do something disgusting with my face right now.
Because then we could screenshot it and make it.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would be very pretty. I don't think it would be a very beautiful acceptance face. I think it would just be a lot of a lot of liquids coming. But no, I mean, I'm glad with what we accomplished with Story of My Life for Ireland. I see where it ranked generally over all of Europe number-wise, and I'm really taking that as where I can improve on it to get it higher, hopefully, again next year.
Do you know what I love? I love your thought process behind this, because you're not resting on anything. You're like, I want to do better now.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to like look at the positive side to such like a dramatic disaster almost. You know what I mean? I want to take what maybe didn't work and like improve on that, and take people's like notes of like, okay, well, she could have done this and we could have done that, and I can deliver on that. I think that's the pro of having 15 years in recording studio, of what I can do now, knowing that. Like, I knew Story of My Life was a great song and a hooky song, and I loved it, but now I even know more of what Europe expects now coming off the back of that, and what Ireland really expects for me to kind of fight for next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That fighting spirit. I love it. You better look, if you don't come back next year, we're going to be banging on RTE's door and asking them for an explanation. I love your spirit.
Thank you. Thanks.
Oh, and Random Content also loves you.
Thank you, Random Content.
Peter M wants to know, are you going to be involved? So you've heard about these Eurovision home concerts.
Yeah.
Are you going to be involved, and have you seen the first one?
Yes and yes. I'm going to be involved. We're starting to film like lots of nice fun things here in the apartment and trying to make that look cool and interesting. So I will be involved. I think I'm up in like a week's time maybe. And I did watch the other one and it was great the other night. It was so good.
Oh, we can't wait to. So, do you know what date yours will be?
If it's not, well, it won't be this coming Friday. I think it might be the following Friday.
Okay, so guys, you've got to look out. So Lesley will be doing an online. I can't get the name right. Online home. Is that right? Online home concert. Eurovision home concert.
Eurovision home concert.
Yeah, I think they can start voting next weekend online for the one of the songs that they want me to sing. So.
Oh, yeah. Have you got one that you're secretly hoping for?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
And if anyone votes and they go back and listen to the start of this interview, vote for that one. That's all I'm gonna say.
I know. Yes. Everyone, you have to go back and watch and vote for that. We've got Magdalena P says, she hopes you'll keep a similar sound next year. We need more fun guitar-based songs at Eurovision. So it was
I'm compiling so much information of what I need.
We've got, I don't even know how to say this name, but I hope she'll be back next year. Moran wants to know what first inspired you to get into music.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh God, my battery. I better plug this in. If you caught the start of that, Oren, my mom was in cover bands all my childhood, so there was musicians and instruments and just constant music in my house growing up. So I think it just kind of happened quite naturally. I asked for my own guitar and I started writing. I think I wrote more before I even had the confidence to sing. So I think I always had a get into the studio obsession. I started watching all the behind the music. Do you remember that TV show where they were like break down so many different albums? And I had this just mad obsession to get in and do that. So I think just music and being around it like pushed me into it.
I'm going to go do a couple of more shout outs and then one more question, and then we'll have to wrap it up, guys, because we've put Lesley with us longer than I expected. We've been having so much fun. We've got Alexandros says hello in Greece. Stephen Allen wants to know, did you hear the UK's entry?
Yeah, James Newman, Catch My Breath, loved it, so good.
ESC Manga wants to know if you know any Turkish songs.
Not that I could sing them, sorry.
ESC Manga, drop a comment in the below. Maybe Lesley can have a watch, and next time she can sing a song for you.
Yeah.
And Sarah Halloran wants to know, can you rap?
I cannot, Sarah. I am so sorry. So if Ireland expects a rap song from me next year, that's it. I'm out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And lastly, Stephen Allen says you should send a club dance song. Oh, no, I'm going to make this one the last one, actually. Olympic says, Clara and Lesley, you look like you both stepped out of a painting.
Okay. Thank you. That is the most creative compliment I've received in a while.
So good.
Morton V loves yours. The comments are still coming. Morton V loves your song. E4D can't wait to see you on Eurovision home concerts. We're going to have to wrap it up. Lesley, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun having you on our channel.
Thanks for having me, guys, and thanks for all the questions. And now I'm excited to see everyone's videos coming in, and Eurovoxx needs to keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. And we would love to invite you back soon for another live video, hopefully as the artist for Ireland 2021. And we can't wait to see the compilation video. So, guys, send your videos to Lesley on Instagram, watch her on Eurovision home concert, and make sure you vote for the right song.
And subscribe to her YouTube channel, because there's like cool stuff there. I checked it this morning.
Thanks, Clara.
Lesley.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
We'll see you soon. Take care. See ya.